Welcome to the ugly truth. So today we're talking about Donald Trump. We're talking about the U.S. economy. And we're talking about how really these issues that are taking place right now are affecting the little man. And when I say the little man, I'm speaking about lower class and middle class Americans. Of course, the lower class, the poor, the working poor, they're always, underrepresented and they have no voice. But typically the middle class, the working middle class, had a voice. And we know the middle class has been under attack in this country. But I want to talk about how I see the middle class man and the working class person really has nowhere to turn today. And unfortunately, they're going to get crushed in between a rock and a hard place. So let's get into it. So we have President Trump. And right now we're waging a trade war against China, the world's second largest economy, soon to be the first largest economy to surpass America. Whether you like it or not, it's going to happen. So your opinion doesn't matter in this. It will happen. America's on its way out. We're in decline. It's evident by our dysfunction with our government, with our spending, with our trade, with a just general breakdown of morality in this country. It's going to happen. So who cares? Get over how you feel. So next, we have Trump in office. And he's promising to make America great again. He's promising to help people. And I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat, because I'm neither one. It doesn't matter to me. I don't believe in Republican or Democrat as far as presidential elections. Doesn't matter who you vote for. Either way, it's a lesser of two evils, and what's going to happen is that the little man, which is the working middle class, will always lose. They'll always lose. And that's the problem with a lot of these working class voting people. They get their feelings hurt every time. So you need to learn how to take your emotions out of this equation and use your head. And if you use your head, if you want to vote, that's fine. But if you use your head, you're not being emotional, you're not going to get your feelings hurt. Because you're going to learn how to think critically and plan for yourself to put yourself in a better position. Either way. Right? So going back to our economy and President Trump. We're waging a economic trade war against China. And we're placing tariffs on their products, and they're placing tariffs on the ones that are shipped here. And of course, again, you know who pays for those tariffs, as we know. You don't have to be an economist to understand the cost always passed along to the consumer, right? Always. That means that the little guy, he gets hit the hardest because he doesn't have the disposable income, right? He doesn't have it. Rich people can afford to pay higher fees for goods and services. They can afford that. But you and I, if there's an increase in 10 to 15 bucks per month, we feel that. We see it. And I'm not talking about 10 to 15 dollars per month total. I'm talking about on items that we're purchasing per item, or per week that you're spending on these things. You feel it. So, again, my whole argument is that if you have President Trump in office, who really, to me, is representative of the corporatocracy, or he's an oligarchy. Basically, he's a plutocrat. Trump represents the rich businessmen, the rich business interests, the corporations of America. That's who he represents. And then you have the other side of this equation, which is the bankers, the deep state, whatever you want to call them, the banking cartel, the banking cabal. Some people call them the Jewish-backed government. Whatever you want to call them. That's the other side. That's the other side of the equation that is really wreaking havoc and trying to get Trump impeached. Right? That's why they're making it so hard for Trump to have a successful presidential bid, because they're trying to get him out of office and try to destroy his character. But either way, the little man, again, is going to get destroyed. Because neither one of those groups of people, Trump or the deep state or the bankers, whatever you want to call them, they don't care about you. They don't care about the little man. If you look around and see where this country is going, more and more jobs are getting displaced. And of course, a lot of it's through technology and innovation. But you gotta understand, this is gonna be bad. This is gonna be bad for our country coming up in the future. If you go into most banks now, well, I'll say where I live. If you go into the banks where I live, Chase Banks, most of the tellers are gone now. They've been replaced by ATMs inside the branch. If you go to your local Walmart, if you go to your local grocery store now, what do you see? You see automated machines where you're scanning and bagging your own groceries. Nonsense. You're doing all this yourself. What this is doing is it's increasing profits for them, and it's putting people out of work. Now, the average American doesn't care about this stuff because the average American is very selfish. If it doesn't affect them, they don't care. But you should care. You should care. Because you're going to see more and more jobs will be displaced. And it's not until it affects the working class person is then when they're going to get into the streets and shout and have a massive uprising. But at that point, it's too late. The corporatocracy who Trump represents, right? The corporations, the plutocrats, that's their whole agenda. Money and making more money and cutting profits and destroying regulation and having laws written in their favor so they can make more profits to destroy the person who is the working middle class. That's what it's all about. You really have no choice in the matter. You think you have choice, but there's no choice. And then the other choice is what? Democrats. Again, all they're doing is they're siding with a group of people who, again, don't care for you. They don't care for you either. There's nowhere for you to go. So the way I see it in this country is that you're going to have to start to get back to entrepreneurship. You're going to have to open your own business. You're going to have to start looking and thinking outside the box, looking for other ways to invest, looking for other ways to make money. Because if you're just counting on your job, depending on which industry that you're in, that industry is not going to be around for the next 10 years. I think we're at the tipping point right now in this country, really in the world, where a lot of things are changing very quickly. And we're going to see a lot happen from 2020 to 2030. A lot's going to happen. A lot's going to happen. We're going to see a lot of innovation. We're going to see a lot of industries die off. We're going to see a lot of the things that we knew once, I guess we grew up to and grew up with, it's going to be phased out. Retail banks will be phased out. Totally going to be phased out. Trucking industry, that's going to be dynamically changed. With automated trucking, it's coming. AI is going to displace a lot of people. A lot of people are going to lose a lot of jobs. Call centers. A lot of support roles are going to be taken out. So there are going to be more and more people who are going to be unemployed. It just leads me to think, what's the future for this country? If you're destroying all these jobs, what's the future for America? More poor people? Taking more middle class people and putting them into a lower class, into poverty? It's not going to be a nice place. It's not going to be nice. People are eventually going to get sick of having nowhere to go. And they're going to lash out. They're going to lash out. A lot of people just don't see this because they're too busy watching the Game of Thrones. They're too busy watching sports. They're too busy entertaining themselves with their social media apps. They're not paying attention. I'm not saying we can change it, what's going on, but what you should do is be prepared for it. understand that if you prepare for these things, it won't catch you unaware. Because when things catch you unaware and when they blindside you, you're much more apt to start panicking and making bad decisions and fall into depression and despair. But if you see it coming, you can prepare for it. Not to say that you can change it, but you can prepare for it. It won't catch you off guard. But these things are coming. Love it or hate it, there's nowhere to go for the middle class American. Prepare to get destroyed because there's no legislation out there for you. No one's fighting for the middle class person. All these Democrats, Cory Booker, the mayor of New York, Bill de Blasio, all these people who come in here, these Democrats, and claim to care about the working class person, they don't care about you. They're owned by interests from places that the average person has no idea even exist. You know? There's no way out. It's just something to think about. You know? I think it's time that we get plans together to figure out what we're going to do moving forward. What you're going to do moving forward. Because time is moving along and it's not going to get better. Unfortunately. It's not going to get better. Anyway, drop me a comment. Let me know what you think. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think so. But if you think I am wrong, tell me how I'm wrong and how my thoughts and my opinions have erred. Anyway, thanks for listening. Peace.